Welcome to Candlelit Blowjobs, an intimate experience between two cousins, Brandon
and Luis,
Sit back, light the candles,
and try some of those bath salts.
What's the matter? Not winning as easily as you thought?
I never said it would be easy.
You won't be winning at all. What, clown? Are you feeling angry, humiliated? Is that it? Fool! You don't know what humiliation is! Don't worry, I will teach you its better taste just as you have taught me. Me, a warrior elite. In my fingertips, I hold the power to destroy entire worlds. I am a Saiyan of royal blood, the last of my kind. And on my shoulders rests the glory of an extinct warrior race. Whole civilizations once trembled at the sound of my name. But you didn't, did you, Kakarot? And at your hands, your common hands, my honor and my pride, the foundations upon which I have always stood, began to crumble at my feet. It was at your hands that I suffered my first great humiliation, toppled by a piece of low-level trash. It is time to take back what is mine. I will not live my life as your second. That time is over. Every breath you take is an assault to my honor. But no more, Kakarot. By my hands, you will be cut down inch by inch. The way you have cut down my pride.
I'm going to start this episode off with something that Vegeta says, one of my favorite quotes of his from the show. This is during the Majin Buu arc. He says to Babidi, "Get out of my head. I already told you I will not be distracted from this anymore. I won't. It will take more than head games to stop me. You may have invaded my mind and my body, but there's one thing a Saiyan always keeps, his pride." Which he says that with more emotion behind it, but
And as soon as he says pride, he powers up to this level that you've never seen, this anger in his eyes, and he unleashes the M that's imprinted on his forehead. Oh, and it's glorious. So glorious. Like this speech that we just heard, plus the one that Brandon just said, is the all-encompassing of the end of the Vegeta story arc. This is the 180 episodes of all-out hatred and battle that just ensued between Goku and Vegeta's domestication and everything that he's fighting.
that's a good way of putting it. Domestication. He does get domesticated.
He does.
Really
And
does.
this is the reason why I identify with Vegeta. He is that downtrodden person, the one that's always fighting to win, the one that's always fighting to surpass everyone, to be the best at what they can be, yet never is always surpassed by the person that just lightly threads the needle and just barely is able to do all these things, yet does it with such ease and finesse that it makes others look stupid for even trying. And he realizes this, and this is why he said pride at the end, because that's what he has, is this pride of self, this pride for who he can be and who he is in his head, yet he never can see that he will be more than Goku ever. And that sense of that is something I struggle with on a daily.
Everyone has felt that at one point in their life. You know, that one person that always surpasses you no matter how hard you try. You just can't keep up with them. You know?
Yeah. And
but
there's so much good life in that.
Yeah, to Vegeta's more than that. Like Vegeta is he's the prince of, Saiyans, and then this low-level trash, aka Goku, comes around, and it's like, hey,
but it's not only that, it's envious of Goku's ease.
Oh yeah, he's
ease in everything.
Yeah.
Because even if you notice, Vegeta chooses to start a relationship. He chooses to live the life that Goku perfected before Vegeta even came to the planet. Yet he sees that he can't even do it as good as Goku does, and with ease that Goku has. He sees that his relationship is way more troubled than Goku's. So not only is he not as powerful, but he can't live the normal life either as good and as easy as Goku can. And I think that's one of the other surprising things that people don't realize is that he's trying to fit in and trying to be this person that can easily fit into society, yet he can't. He's this outlier this whole time. And no matter what, and this is why he allows himself to be captured by Majin Buu, because he just wants to go back to what he was before Kakarot decided to corrupt him and turn him into this domesticated version of Vegeta. He wants evil back in his heart. He wants evil back into his soul, because that's where he could just completely let out all the hatred that he has for this person that has made his life a living hell because he cannot accomplish the goals that he did.
Well, guys, welcome to the final episode of our DBZ retrospective of us talking about Dragon Ball Z. I think I said about twice, but whatever. Yeah. This Candlelit Blowjobs, the Menage a Trois. I don't even know if I said that right, but I'll go with it. As always.
I don't know where the phlegm came from, but yeah.
It's like the Joaquin Phoenix all over again.
Okay. As always, I am Brandon. Joining me is the two other goons, Luis.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. I'm like,
hello, Luis, you're on?
Yeah. And, of course, William.
Hello, everybody.
So this is the final episode of our DBZ show. We're going to be covering the Majin Buu arc, everything basically after Cell till the end.
Yes, and I can't wait. Brandon?
So, new host. Hi, everybody.
Hi. I'm here.
Hi, welcome back.
Hi. My internet just took a slight doo-doo on itself. My apologies, people.
I was like, okay.
What was the last thing you guys heard?
You introducing us, pretty much.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, okay, cool. So this is the final episode of Dragon Ball Z. We're going to be covering everything after the Cell Saga till the end of Dragon Ball Z. Is my internet down again?
No, it's good.
Okay, cool, because it says limited, so I'm like, oh, man. Oh, this is no bueno. I'm scared now. So, as I was saying before, I was cut off because of my shitty internet. There are some arcs that I think we can skip. Like, there's a tournament after the Cell Saga in the Afterlife. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Like that tournament. That tournament
yeah,
was awesome.
It was good, but it was definitely a filler. It was kind of like, all right, skip.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna lightly breeze past like the Great Saiyaman Saga. So basically, 7 years have passed. Gohan goes to high school. He's you're a regular old teenager, and he meets Videl there, who is Mr. Satan's daughter, and basically decides that he's gonna be this superhero called the Great Saiyaman, and fight crime around the city. And he wears like this special costume and whatnot. He eventually tells
Vegeta makes fun of him so much about he's like,
yes,
you clown, you even dress like one now.
So Gohan befriends Videl. He tells her that he has like powers and stuff like that. He teaches her how to fly. And we also find out that Gohan has a little brother now, a 7-year-old little brother named Goten.
Yes.
Who can also turn Super Saiyan. I swear, Super Saiyan's like candy now.
Yeah.
And Vegeta's son Trunks is now 8 years old and can also turn Super Saiyan.
Which is hilarious, the way that he portrays it the first time. Vegeta's like, God damn it. They're training in the capsule that Goku took to Namek or something there similar to it, and he just turns into it and starts running around like the gravity chamber that they're like, what, I think it was like 100 times Earth's gravity or
some
something.
shit like that. Like Trunks is having difficulty, so he turns Super Saiyan to like start running around basically, and Vegeta looks at him like, what? Like I trained my entire life for this, and you are 8 years old, and you can just turn Super Saiyan like it's nothing. Like, what is this shit?
Yeah.
So basically, they all decide that they're gonna meet up at the next world, the Tenkaichi Budokai tournament,
Yep.
and
Because they those always end so well.
yeah, they always end up so well. And they have a surprise. Goku has been given permission to come back for 1 day to partake in this tournament. So they go, and there's this really heartfelt scene where Goku meets Goten for the first time, which I absolutely love.
Oh, it's a tearjerker.
Yeah, like Goten looks at him like, Dad, and Goku's like, come here, buddy, and they hug and shit, and it's such a nice scene.
Yeah, it is.
And while they're there, they meet this like really weird dude called Shin, who has like this like fucking mohawk and stuff with his friend like Kibito.
Yes.
And it's cool. I love that scene. I love that entire tournament arc because the announcer's like, Goku, yo, I haven't seen you for like 20 years. Like, what have you been up to, buddy? And they're all like, yeah, we've been around, like, doing stuff. And he's like, yo, this is going to be a lit-ass tournament, isn't it? And they're like, yeah, it's going to be pretty good. Much. And, yeah, there's like, so they've, at this point in Dragon Ball, I guess in their world, they decided to split up, like, only adults can fight adults and children have to fight children. A smart idea, if I say so myself. So there's like a kid tournament where Goten and Trunks fight each other at the end, and Trunks wins. But in the actual tournament, Videl goes to fight this guy by the name of Supopovich. What a name, dude. What a fucking name. And Supopovich grabs her and just manhandles her, like destroys her. To the point that it angers Gohan, and Gohan gets in the ring and turns like Super Saiyan.
And everybody's like, the golden boy, the golden boy, the golden haired boy.
Like, whoa! And then the guy with the mohawk, Shin, is like, hey, like, we need to like get those guys, basically. We'll tell you about this in a second. And they basically suck Gohan's power in like this like contraption they have, and they leave. And they're like, what the hell's going on? They give Gohan like a Zenzu bean. And Shin is like, hey, I'm a Supreme Kai. Basically, those guys with the M's on their forehead, they work for Babidi, and they're trying to resurrect this horrible being called Majin Buu. So they follow them to Babidi's hideout, and they go inside. And basically, they go through like these bouts, like, Goku fights Yakan.
It turns into a video game for a while.
Yeah, Vegeta fights I forgot the guy's name, but they like completely destroy them, and then Gohan starts fighting.
Darkness. I love the darkness when the it's like imagine Pitch Black, the original version of Pitch Black. That's what it felt like. One of the creatures from that planet.
Yeah, it's Yakan. That's the one that Goku fights, and then Gohan fights basically Babidi's right-hand man, Dabura. It's like, this is like devil guy. And Gohan
spits into stone.
Yeah, if he spits and he hits you, whom he has done that. He basically outside has turned into stone. Krillin, Piccolo.
Which, one of my favorite scenes is Gotenks and Trunks, that they land and they're playing with the stone statues of them, and one of them crashes down. And breaks into pieces.
I totally forgot about that.
Oh god, that is brilliant.
Yeah, so at this point, Vegeta lets himself be taken over by Babidi, as we were talking about earlier, and Babidi transports them to the tournament. And Vegeta...
Oh, that egging on.
Yeah,
he like egging on where he does that cross look like we mentioned in the first episode of the show, that he does like this kind of head cock to the side and looks to the side and just goes does a little smirk, puts his hand out and blasts one of the whole sections of the stadium, and then turns around and goes, You're still not gonna fight me. He does the other hand and goes blows up the other half of the stadium.
And then, this is all what Babidi wants, because as they're using power, like ki blasts, they basically are giving power to Majin Buu to resurrect him. So Goku gives in and he's like, all right, cool. Transport us to another place. I'll fight Vegeta.
And then the great hold on, before we move on from that Vegeta scene, is with the scene where Bulma is staring at Vegeta and with this like kind of like, no, he can't be. It can't be that he's back.
Thinking that her husband has changed.
Yeah.
He's a changed man, and it's like, nah, he's still pretty much the same.
Yeah.
It's at this point that we pretty much realize that we're gonna get that. Like the actual fight between Goku and Vegeta has been long coming. And we've been waiting for it. And at this point, I think, like, I don't know about you guys, but like when he goes Majin Vegeta, part of me went, "Oh, please tell me this is when it happens." Mm-hmm. And it was worth the wait, at least in my opinion. The fight between these two, and when he gets like put up against that huge mountainside, and he just like basically he's handcuffed to the mountain and breaks the rocks on his head.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There's a bunch of like that entire fight, like the speeches that like Vegeta says, like basically
at the beginning of this episode, that whole speech is it's a very much cut down version of like a 13-minute conversation between Goku and him while they're fighting.
He breaks down to Goku and he's like, he finally admits to Goku, like, I'm envious, like you have taken away my pride. I watched you surpass me, and then I watched your child surpass me, and it's like, and it's so basically they fight. Majin Buu is resurrected and all is lost. Basically, Vegeta wins the fight and goes to fight Majin Buu, Fat Buu at this point.
Yeah,
they start Fat Buu.
Fat Buu.
Oh, that's what they call him because there's.
I know.
They have different forms
because of William.
So they he fights Fat Buu and he realizes that he can't win. So he decides to basically sacrifice himself.
Oh, hold on. You're skipping one of the greatest parts of the whole series, too, is the conversation that he has with Trunks.
He hasn't had the conversation yet. He realizes, like, oh, shit, I need to kill myself. I need to, sacrifice. But he has a conversation with his son, basically, telling him that he loves him and stuff like that. And then
he punches him in the gut and knocks him out.
He just, and then he tells, and then Piccolo comes to pick up Trunks and Goten and take them away.
Yeah.
And then I love it because Piccolo looks at Vegeta and he goes, I know what you're doing. And he goes, I know. And then he tells him, he goes, where you're going, they're not going to give you good treatment. You're not Goku. And he goes, well, then so be it. Like, he has accepted that he's like, well, I need to kill myself. I need to do this.
Yeah.
And then he says out loud, like, this is for, everybody, my son, for Trunks, Bulma.
While I was with you guys, I became more human. I didn't like that. I even have a family and started to like living on Earth.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he, right before he blows himself up, he says, this is for you, Trunks, Bulma, and yes, even for you, Kakarot. And then he blows himself up thinking that he's going to kill Fat Buu, which, of course, doesn't succeed. So at this point...
I mean, you would think that by now they would have learned that trying to blow stuff up is just not going to work. The only time that it really worked was like the Saiyaman all the way back in like season 1. But anytime that one of the Z fighters, if I'm mistaken, like obviously tell me, but anytime the Z fighters have tried to like blow somebody up, it's like, nope, not today. And it's like, come on, like, it gets unnerving.
So then we cut to
It all goes back to that one thing, pride.
yeah. So Supreme Kai takes Gohan, who has been basically he's almost dead because of Majin Buu. He takes Gohan to like his planet to train Gohan, and then
Majin Buu with Mr. Satan.
Oh
no, wait. Before we get there, there's still parts left, and then basically everyone goes to Dende's lookout, and Goku starts teaching Goten and Trunks the fusion dance,
Oh yes! Oh my god!
and then he goes, "I'm gonna go fight Buu now." So Goku goes to fight Buu, and we are shown what I think is the best transformation in the entire show. Not the looks wise, but the actual like transformation sequence.
Oh, dude, yeah,
Super Saiyan 3.
yeah.
But
I gotta let you in on a little secret. Brandon and I had a cousin that it is like a second cousin removed, like that moved away into a different part. But I always imagined Brandon and that other cousin of ours as Gotenks and
Why?
Trunks.
Why?
Oh, I don't know why. I always thought of you guys like that. You guys are around the same age group and all that stuff. I think you're a little bit older than him by like a year or two. So,
Are you talking about Kevin?
no, Joey.
Oh, Joey. Yeah, that's true.
Because when we grew up, we all kind of hung out with each other a lot as kids, and then he moved away suddenly, so we never saw him again. But when we were kids, we all hung out all the time, so it was kind of like that situation. It was pretty hilarious.
So Goku turns Super Saiyan 3, and this is where like this bullshit about like Toriyama, I guess. I don't know what the hell. At this point, you could tell that Toriyama's tired. And at this point, as much as I love Dragon Ball Z, this is when Dragon Ball Z starts getting a little sloppy.
The kamikaze ghost.
Oh, God. Like, for instance, Goku's like, yeah, I knew how to turn Super Saiyan 3 during my fight with Vegeta. I just didn't want to do it. I'm like, what? Why? Like, it's just dumb shit like that. That I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? So he fights.
Well, he says that it takes too much energy to do.
Yeah. Which when he transforms, he basically it takes up so much of his energy that he, instead of it being a day at Earth, he's only there for a couple hours because he basically sucks up all that.
So
energy.
he didn't want to do it because of that, and also he didn't have the energy to do it until the Zensu Bean.
Yeah,
because
and then
he had fought all these other people already before that.
So he fights Boo, almost wins, but then leaves. Boo kills Babidi, and then he goes back to Dende's lookout. He's like, all right, cool. I taught you the fusion technique. Pieces. I gotta go. So he goes back to the afterlife
With the witch.
With what's her name? Baba.
Baba, yeah.
Baba.
Yeah, Baba, which is Master Roshi's sister. I don't know if you guys know that.
Oh, I was about to say, like, did she just come out of like nowhere? Because like at no point does anybody really.
She comes out
any
in
mention
Dragon
of her.
Yeah, she's way more prevalent in Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So then Goku goes to the Supreme Kai's planet to train with Gohan, and Gohan's like trying to take this like sword out of this
the sword in the stone legend.
Yeah, and
the Z sword.
The Z sword, and the Z sword breaks. And they find out that there's another
old man.
Yeah, there's an old Kai that was sealed away in said sword. He's this pervy old dude. He's like kind of like Master Roshi, but a Kai version of him. And then basically Mr. Satan befriends Fat Boo, and they start living in this house with this dog, and these like poachers come around and they kill the dog.
Oh, what's the name of the dog? I forgot.
B.
Oh my God, B.
Yeah,
it becomes like an American soap opera for a little bit there, but it's so cute and adorable when Boo is playing with Mr. Satan and B. It's really freaking weird and adorable. Yeah. It's something that just makes you smile when you watch it.
I never read the manga. Is that part of the manga, or is that filler?
No, that's actually part of the manga.
Oh, okay.
because it's leading up to the moment where the poachers come, kill the dog, so that Boo gets angry, lets out the bad energy, and then that one becomes that gray one,
Yeah.
and then the gray one
yeah.
sucks him up, and he becomes Super Boo.
The sadistic fuck that does the little side eye glance that Vegeta did.
Yeah, at this point also I kind of glanced over that Goten and Trunks do succeed in fusion and they form Gotenks. But fusion only lasts for half an hour. So, they go unless well, later on we find out. Which that's actually retconned in Super, but funny. So Fat Boo gets sucked up by this like evil version of himself, this skinny like gray version, and he becomes Super Boo.
Yes.
At that point, basically, Gotenks goes into the hyperbolic time chamber, and Boo goes in there with him.
Yep.
And so does Piccolo, and they decide to basically blow up the door.
Yeah, but imagine Vegeta and Goku to the most playful method ever. These kids are the cockiest little sons of bitches ever, and they deciding to toy with him and name things rather than actually defeat the guy. And Piccolo is like the veteran warrior that's like, oh my god, shut the hell up! You're gonna get yourselves killed.
Yeah, basically.
Kids.
So by this point, they're in the hyperbolic time chamber. If I'm not mistaken, everybody's dead on Dende's lookout. They've been turned into candy.
Yeah.
Yep. Chocolate, I believe, right?
Yeah, into chocolate. He's eaten everybody except Piccolo and Gotenks. And
over this shit by now and just decide to go back to Namek and say fuck you guys. I don't.
Yeah, right. Piccolo's like, I'm done with this shit, bro.
Like seriously, like how did guy? Like I understand, he was the bad guy in the first, in Dragon Ball, and
it's called karma.
And then he has to babysit Gohan and pretty much raise his ass as well because Goku's never around.
Fucking lazy dad.
Right?
Yo, Goku is like a deadbeat dad.
Baby daddy issues.
Goku is a straight up. Why do you think Chi-Chi's such a bitch, dude? Because Goku's a deadbeat dad.
Dude, Chi-Chi's not a bitch, dude. She's just straight up like, dude, you're a deadbeat. What the fuck's wrong with you?
So they surprise Piccolo by turning Super Saiyan 3. They are the only character to ever turn Super Saiyan 3 other than Goku.
Yep.
True.
Meanwhile,
until GT. Yep.
No.
Vegeta turns with the machine.
No, he surpasses. He goes straight to 4. You never see him turn 3. He just
you do. You see him 3 for a little bit with the machine, and then he turns 4 after that.
I don't remember that, but I'm gonna.
That's right at the beginning of GT.
But whatever. At that point, I think they get. He sucks up Piccolo, and he also sucks up Gotenks. And then Gohan shows up.
Yep.
With this unlocked power. My man is stronger. Or sorry, excuse me. Just as strong as Super Saiyan 3 or stronger, and he's not even Super Saiyan.
Yep.
And he hasn't sucked up Gotenks and Piccolo yet. Because I remember he fights him like normal Super Buu, and he's just like destroying him.
Yeah.
Gohan's just like just playing around with him. And then he sucks up Gotenks, and then shit just hits the fan. And then Gohan really can't keep up. And then he sucks up Gohan, and then it gets even worse. At that point, Vegeta and Goku are coming back from the... Vegeta's coming back from the afterlife, and Goku's like on Earth from the Supreme Kai planet. And the Supreme Kai gives him the Patora earrings.
Yep.
And he's like, all right, man, if you use these, you can fuse, but it's permanent. And they're like...
Well, no. He doesn't tell that to them. He tells that to Goku. And then Vegeta finds out later on.
Yeah.
And then they fuse, against Vegeta.
Would you have told Vegeta? Because Vegeta wouldn't have gone for it. Do you blame Goku for that?
Hell no, I don't blame Goku at all for that.
Vegeta even says it. He's like, I wouldn't have done this if you would have told me that.
Exactly.
So they use the Patora earrings. They fuse into Vegito,
Yes.
and
yes.
they proceed to utterly fucking annihilate Majin Buu.
And
But
this weird, like, fantastic voyage happens, which is the fucking weirdest thing ever.
what?
Where they go inside of
Oh
Boo.
yeah. So they basically they're super playful, and they get by accident they get sucked up, and by getting sucked up they unfuse inside of him.
But they don't get absorbed.
Yes, they don't get absorbed.
I
They're
feel
like,
like that was like the cop out to getting out of the whole it's permanent, so we lost Vegeta.
Oh yeah.
I feel like he got like some kind of backlash from somebody. It was like, all right, I need to figure out how to bring back fucking Vegeta now because otherwise this is not going to be good.
So fun fact in Super, Supreme Kai tells them that, oh shit, I forgot to tell you, it's not permanent unless you're a Kai, and they're like, oh. So it's the same thing. It's 30 minutes like the normal fusion dance, but it's like a stronger version of fusion. So yeah.
Cop out.
It's definitely a cop out.
He's like cop out.
So they go inside Majin Buu, and they basically rip out Fat Buu, who's like in this cocoon. And by doing so, they unleash the most horrible version of Majin Buu, Kid Buu. And Kid Buu basically destroys the entire planet. Like literally blows up Earth.
Yeah.
They have gone to Supreme Kai's planet. Supreme Kai takes Goku, Vegeta, Mr. Satan, and Fat Buu, and that's it, right?
Yep. And this is the version that the Supreme Kais were worried about, because this is the version that they saw initially. Yes. This is the version that they fought originally when they put him away.
Yeah, this is the version that he's super sadistic. There's no sense of remorse. Like, he is just this killing machine, basically.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk. Like, all he wants is, like, I just want to kill everything in my path.
Yeah.
So, basically
Vegeta 2.0.
So Vegeta starts fighting, Kid Buu gets utterly destroyed. Goku does the same thing. And then Goku starts doing the Spirit Bomb, but at this point he tells King Kai, basically radio my voice over everybody on Earth and tell everybody to raise your arms.
Not Earth, the universe.
No, the universe is GT, my dude.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, whoops.
GT. You're getting ahead of yourself there, buddy. This is just Earth and Namek, if I'm not mistaken. It's both of them. Because at this point they've used the Namekian Dragon Balls to wish back Earth.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah. My bad.
And then basically they're like, "Why should we listen to you?" And then Mr. Satan's like, "Do it, you dumbasses!" And then everyone.
Yeah, that's right.
He hits Kid Buu with the Spirit Bomb and annihilates him, destroys him, and then. We have that moment where Vegeta finally admits to Goku that he is better.
Yep.
Yeah, he tells Goku, yes, you are better than me, and that is fine. And then they go back. Yeah, go ahead, William.
I was going to say, now, personal opinion. Now, okay. Goku hit Frieza back in Namek with a Spirit Bomb, and he survived it. He hits Buu with one, and it's what kills Buu in the end.
Yes.
Does that mean that Buu was not as strong as Vegeta all along? Or was it because theoretically the Spirit Bomb was stronger given the fact that Goku himself was a stronger fighter?
The Spirit Bomb that they use against Vegeta is very small. Because if I'm not mistaken, they're just getting it from like plant life.
Yeah. And
then the Spirit Bomb in the Frieza saga is just Namek, and there's not many life forms on Namek, so it's just plant life and then the random people that are alive. Now, in the Majin Buu saga...
also Frieza gets a little bit from Earth, not a lot.
And then, basically, the Majin Buu one is everybody on Earth. Like, I think every single human being gives a part of themselves.
To the point of almost death.
Yeah, like at one point I think he says I need more, and then I think King Kai says that they can't because if they give any more, they'll die.
Yeah, and that's where they tap into Namek.
Yes, and then 10 years pass. Is it 10 years? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and the next tournament begins.
And then the next
With
tournament
this little
begins.
brown
Oh,
dude.
So-
Little brown dude.
so at the end,
He just goes right for this kid. He's like, do you see color? He's like, yep, I do. He's brown.
at the end of this of the Majin Buu saga, Goku says that he wishes that Buu would come back as a good person. Fast
And-
forward 10 years.
Little
It's
brown dude comes out named Oob.
Oob. Oh, how original. So they go to this world tournament. Goku's not an old man, but he's getting there. You know, he has a granddaughter named Pan. Like Pan.
Oh, Pan.
I love Pan.
Oh, man.
Like, he's a grandfather, but I mean, like, he still looks like Goku. That's the thing. Like,
Well, they say that the Saiyans don't age that much. Like
so
if you-
exactly. See, that's always something that's always sat with me. Where I was like, and if you guys don't want to discuss it, it's fine. We can talk about it a different time.
No, this is the time.
So,
No,
so
I agree.
Saiyans don't age very quickly, correct?
yes.
Correct. When we leave Goku at the end of Dragon Ball, he's still a little kid.
No, at the end of Dragon Ball,
Oh
he's
no,
18.
he's already aged.
Yeah.
Never mind. I forget that part. Yes, then
Yeah, because Pilaf is the one that turns him back in GT.
Yeah.
yes.
No,
I was
at
like,
the beginning of
How much time
Dragon Ball,
passed? Yeah.
at the beginning of Dragon Ball, Goku is 12, and by the end, he's like 18, if I'm not mistaken. So like 6 years pass in Dragon Ball, and then 5 years. By the end of Dragon Ball Z, he's probably like in his fucking 50s, like straight up, probably. No, that's a little excessive.
Well,
don't
I
know.
mean,
He's an old man.
So it's 7 years between Majin Buu and Cell.
Look. So 18. So at the end of Dragon Ball, it's 18 years. 5 years till the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. So he's 23. Then a year from Raditz to Vegeta Nappa, it's 24.
24.
Another year till Namek, 25. 3 years till the androids, 28.
Hyperbolic time chamber twice, though. Remember that.
Okay,
30.
so 30. Then we got 7 years, 37. 10, he's 47 at the end of Dragon Ball Z.
Hey, you were close.
That was close. That was pretty
Yeah.
close.
Around
There you go.
50. Because
Yeah, close to
I
50.
think there's some random parts where he's in the hyperbolic time chamber for longer with Gohan. Remember?
No, actually, he says that you never see it, but he says that in Dragon Ball, when he first goes to Kami's lookout, he goes into the hyperbolic time chamber to attempt to be there for a day, but he can't do it. So
Hmm.
he's gone in there before,
Okay.
maybe for 6 months, whatever, but he couldn't do like a full year.
Yeah, gotcha.
So yeah, they go to this world tournament, and the only reason they go is because of Oob.
Yep. They're exploring and looking for this one.
Yeah, this, as my cousin liked to refer to him, this little brown kid.
Little brown, this little turd.
Christ, dude.
Mr. Hanky.
God.
Hanky, the Christmas oop. Mr. Hanky, the Christmas oop.
And then
Oh, that was
Deadbeat-
good. That was
Deadbeat-
good.
deadbeat dad Goku decides to get Oob
Wow,
and
this is going straight drag. Okay.
then just leave and be like, so long.
Again.
I'm
Poor
gonna go train.
Freaking Chi-Chi, dude.
Dude. It's like I'm gonna go.
If he hasn't divorced him by now, I don't know.
Dude, he literally comes back for one day, gets laid, has a kid, goes on an adventure, comes back one day, gets laid, has a kid, leaves on an adventure. I think this is the only time that she doesn't get pregnant after leaving.
At that point, she was like, "You're sleeping on the couch. Enough with this shit. I'm done. I can't deal with this shit anymore."
Don't come near me with that rusty thing.
Actually, there is this fucking hilarious scene in Super when Goku is with Vegeta and they see Trunks, like future Trunks, kiss a character, like a girl that he likes, and Goku goes, "Oh, what's that? I've never done that." And Vegeta looks at him and he goes, "You've never kissed your wife?" And he's like, "No." And Vegeta's like, "What? What?"
Wow.
I go straight for the point, man. Literally.
Wow.
So Dragon Ball Z ends with deadbeat dad Goku leaving with a kid that he's known for 10 minutes to go train because that's all he cares about in his life. Fuck his family. And Goku goes to the sunset. Well,
Literally.
until Dragon Ball GT, until they retcon that. But, GT is another thing. Even though GT has a banger of an ending, the ending of
yes,
GT
it does.
amazing. But yeah, Dragon Ball is a fucking journey.
Dude, it's a long expedition into these 80 episodes.
291 episodes, exactly.
291 episodes of this journey between Goku and Vegeta, because that's what Dragon Ball Z is about.
Yes.
It's the journey of Goku and Vegeta, and them going from enemies to friends, and then from that, everything else that encompasses not only Vegeta's friendship with Goku and his family, but his relationship with Bulma, and there in turn his child Trunks, that turns into one of the most powerful people as well. And then of course the Goku family of Gohan and Gotenks, passing on the Saiyan torch to these three kids basically, and moving the bar that much further for this epic family of the Prince of the Saiyans and the lowly Saiyan that is Goku.
Yep. It's honestly, it's a lot. It's a fun ride.
It's a long ass ride.
It's a long ass ride. If you take into consideration everything, Dragon Ball's 153, DBZ is 291, or if you watch Kai, it's 167.
Which I was going to ask you, what William, have you seen Kai?
Is Kai like the shorter redubbed version that they did like in the late 90s, early 2000s?
It was like the
Late
early
2000s.
2010s. It was like early 2010s. It's basically they take out all the filler bullshit and they just give you like what Dragon Ball Z should be. Like, not the fights aren't prolonged; they're just as much as they need to be. All that good stuff.
I watched a few episodes and I just felt like it's great for the passive viewer that just wants to go through DBZ and, like you said, doesn't want to deal with all like the filler bullshit and all this.
I hated that, dude.
As a DBZ, like I said, Dragon Ball Z being like my favorite anime, tied with Saint Seiya of all time. I understand it's a pain in the ass sitting there and watching Goku in midair talking to his insert generic enemy here now.
No, but it's not even that.
It's up for like 16 episodes. It's like
3 episodes of constipated look of him powering up in midair, and it's like, oh my god, just stop, please, move on.
But it's to me, it's what makes Dragon Ball Dragon Ball.
I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Pain in the ass for it, but and all the other animes that I watched growing up, which like even like the fighting animes, the attacks, the power ups, they were quick. They were like, they're like, oh, like he's ascending to like the next armor or whatever it is. Boom, done. Half an episode, you get like that beautiful armor showing, an entree attached to the guy. Boom, he goes into his next attack. With Dragon Ball, it was like with how good the fights are, it makes you wonder. He's powering up. What is this going to bring? What attacks is he going to bring? Like, how is this fight going to be changed? So to some degree, especially at the beginning, it was worth it. But by the time Boo came around, I was like, oh, please just get it over with. Let's kill him so we can go home.
I got frustrated with Frieza, honestly. Frieza was just, oh my god. I'm like, when is this going to end? Please, just go get to the end already. Let him turn Saiyan. I know he is. At this point, I know he's going to do it. Just do it and defeat this fucker already. I want to get past this already. This is getting boring.
I think it was because by the time we get to Freezer final form and then Goku going Super Saiyan, we had spent so much time on Namek with like the
It was
Ginyu.
like 3 years, dude. 3 years of animation before they got to past Frieza. Remember that. For
Exactly.
us.
No, man, it's like fuck. Here, let me find out how long the Frieza is, for Christ's sakes, bro.
Dude, but the Frieza saga, between them rebooting it right after Ginyu, remember that?
Don't take that into consideration. So
well, you have to, because that's how long I waited initially.
I just think that there was a lot that happened on Namek that when finally we got to the final boss fight, it was like, please, that's great. We saw you go Super Saiyan. Just beat his ass in one episode and let's get this show on the road.
So
and God knows, like, how many episodes was it from the moment he goes Super Saiyan to when he finally
8.
No, it's more.
No,
than
it's not. Jesus Christ.
So the entire Namek. So from the moment the Namek saga starts till the end of Frieza, it's from episodes 36 to 107.
Jesus Christ, 70 episodes.
So that is.
Except it's like a year and a half.
Plus the gap of almost a year between the animation styles. Remember?
Yeah.
So you're talking about. Because remember, they got up to what, like maybe episode 70, and then they restarted the series, and then we had to go all the way from 1 all the way to 70 again, and then they started premiering new episodes.
Actually, fun fact, we didn't get, so Dragon Ball Z has 291 episodes. We got in America, we got like up to 270 something. That's how much they cut out.
Yeah.
That's how much they cut out. We didn't even get the full 291 episodes.
Also, not only a lot of violence, but there was also a lot of sexuality that was cut out of Dragon Ball Z, the American version.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
because there's a lot of scenes where like Bulma is
a
being
whore.
like pretty much the only female in the entire series, other than her mother. She's sexualized a lot, not just with Yamcha, but like with
Goku,
Roshi, and it's like, I understand. In America, in the United States, it's different than in Europe and in Japan. So I can see why there's like a lot of episodes got cut out, or especially like the sexuality part got cut out. But apparently now they are releasing the anniversary DBZ set.
Yep, it's coming out on the 30th anniversary, actually.
And apparently there's already a lot of issues.
Yeah, there's people are not happy with it. Like,
they're not happy with the way, with the presentation, or like the way that it's got remastered. It kind of like screwed up the animation.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't pre-order it.
Dude, it's also super expensive. I think
it's like $360. Yeah,
it's like super expensive. Honestly, like if you're gonna just get Dragon Ball Z on Blu-ray. You could probably find the entire series on Amazon for.
I got all of Kai on Blu-ray for, I think it was like 140.
Yeah, you could probably get the same thing, like normal Dragon Ball Z on Blu-ray. You could probably get it for around the same price. It's not bad. Dragon Ball streaming on Hulu, only in Japanese, so subbed.
Hell yeah,
so
that's the only
Dragon
way
Ball. Dragon Ball GT is subbed also.
Which GT guys, I personally really, really enjoy GT.
I do too. I do
and
too.
Let's talk about the movies, actually.
Oh my God,
very, very quickly. Like, what is your favorite of the movies? All 13 of them.
Broly.
Well, there's more than 13. There's actually 15 movies now.
Is there 15?
Let's see.
I'm talking about DBZ though.
Well, technically, okay.
Because there's like 3 or 4 Dragon Ball movies.
No. Because remember, after Dragon Ball, they released 2 movies under the Dragon Ball Z banner, which were Battle of Gods and Resurrection F.
Yeah, I'm not counting those.
those are still Dragon Ball Z. The first movie to have the super banner is Broly, the new Broly film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I liked Cooler and Revenge of
First
Cooler.
Okay. This
I liked both
of
of them. I kind of mixed both of them together. I can't tell you what the difference is. I think one is Cooler, right?
Yeah, that's when
Yeah.
they're on Namek. That's the second one.
I like Broly, the original Broly.
Okay, that's a good one. I'm gonna go with BoJack.
Oh.
That's my favorite movie. I love it because it's a tournament. For any of the listeners, since we don't really talk about anime that much, if there's one, I apologize if you hear the dogs in the back; they're kind of barking.
Yeah, that's fine.
If there's one type of arc that I love in anime, it's tournaments. I don't know why. I think that's one of the big reasons why I like Dragon Ball so much is because there's 3 tournaments in it. And BoJack is slightly a tournament, but also it has Gohan in his teen version from the Cell games, and he turned Super Saiyan 2. I'm about it. Just give it to me. I'm
that's true.
completely bored with that movie. Second favorite, I love Fusion Reborn. When they fuse into Gogeta, I love that movie so much.
Is that the one with Gotenks fighting Hitler?
Yes.
Yes.
That's awesome. That episode is freaking awesome.
Yes.
Hey, why should you never ask a German person for directions?
I don't know why.
Because they will always tell you to take the Third Reich.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
Hey, on that note,
if you can't tell, we all really like Dragon Ball. So if you're listening to this, you've probably seen it. If you haven't, shame on you.
shame.
No shame on you. Just if you're curious, just go check it out. Honestly,
Explore
it's
it, dude. It is a fun journey, and it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those that transcend the anime barriers that most people have against anime, and it honestly does just transform into a regular show where you could actually enjoy these characters for what they are.
I don't know about that, but I love it.
I mean, I'm not a big anime person, and I really enjoy Dragon Ball Z. I know a lot of people that are not into anime in any way or form, yet they love Dragon Ball Z. So I think it's something that transcends past the normal barriers of
Yeah,
anime.
but also, is that nostalgia? Is that because they watched it as children, and that was the only anime that they decided not to delve deeper
They
into
watched the
anime?
Gundam Wing. They watched
Yeah, because they grew up with Toonami. That's the thing.
I mean, and they never liked him. They never liked it at all. So
Yeah.
this is the only anime that they got attached to.
I don't know, dude. I remember so you know, if you're listening, Lewis and I are Cuban. We grew up in very Cuban households, and I remember my grandma watching this, and she was like, "Why do they sound like they're shitting themselves?" And I'm like,
Yes.
I don't know, dude.
What's funny is that I've never met your grandmother. I've never heard her speak, but in my head, I heard a generic older Latina woman sitting in front of the TV, not understanding what she's watching, and then at some point just looking over her shoulder to the young kid that's watching the show, and in Spanish going "mijo," and then asking why are they shitting themselves in Spanish, which I'm like, that's just funny as hell.
Yeah, I remember our grandparents would be like, "Esta mierda again," basically saying this shit again, because I would put it in Dragon Ball Z. There's a lot of shouting and stuff like that, and it's my childhood. I love it, dude. Dragon Ball Z is very special to me. It opened up my love towards anime, and it showed me that there was another world that was completely different than what we were used to here in the United States when it came to cartoons.
Would you say that Dragon Ball Z, and this has got nothing to do with the fact that I'm a fan of it, but would you say that Dragon Ball Z is kind of like the Harry Potter of anime in the sense of it's over, like Dragon Ball Z itself is over, but it is still not gaining steam. It still has steam to where new generations are drawn to it. Like Lewis said, they may not like anime, but there's something about DBZ that they're like, oh my god, this is great. This, I want to cosplay this. I want to be Goku. I want to be Vegeta. Would you say that it's kind of like that?
I
I would
don't
say
know.
it's more like the Marvel cinematic universe, that it allows people that aren't fans of comic books to transcend into a comic book nerdy concept again.
I don't
Okay.
know, man. To me, I don't know if like Dragon Ball Z's like that. I just think it was different back in the day in the 90s because like we didn't have anime, so we didn't know what it was. It was like a very underground concept, and then Dragon Ball Z came out and it kind of blew, our little prepubescent minds away.
I'll tell
And
you this, anime, the what do you call it, Dragon Ball Z in particular for me is what started me down like fandoms. Like this was the reason I got into a lot of movies and stuff like that, was because I saw a huge kind of group of people that really enjoyed this one concept, and then from there I started playing Magic the Gathering, and from Magic the Gathering, that was the stepping block to a whole different world of like fandoms and nerddoms that
honest,
opened the gates to what I do, what I've always had a passion for, which was film.
honestly, like recently in the last couple months, I saw Broly, the new film, and 3 years ago I saw Resurrection F, both in theaters. And those two experiences have had to, they are like some of the coolest things I've ever experienced, like in a theater. Like being in a room packed with everyone in that room is just as much of a fan as Dragon Ball as you are. They're there for a reason. It's not like this mom was like, "Oh, let's go watch Dragon Ball Z. Like, let's check this shit out."
Yeah.
No. Like everybody in that room, you could feel the energy and like when I watched Broly with my brother and his friend in January, like when things happen, people were fucking screaming, getting out of their seats and shit. It was so cool. It was such a cool experience.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
Dragon
think
Ball
that's
Z is awesome.
yeah.
Dragon Ball is so good. I love it so much.
So,
And
William, any closing thoughts for you?
Dragon Ball Z will always be like no other. I've tried watching other animes past DBZ, and I don't know. There's just something, like, maybe it's because I want to compare them to DBZ. Maybe it's because I want them to be Dragon Ball. But nothing has really nothing new for the most part has really caught me or sucked me in like Dragon Ball did. And I mean, I will say, especially now that I discovered the abridged version, it's great because I get to watch it without like episode upon episode, and it's obviously the dialogue is completely different to the point where you forget that that's not the actual dialogue, and it will never get old for me. It's something that I will sit. Somebody's like, "Hey, you want to watch a few episodes?" Absolutely, and then we'll sit and discuss and talk theories and whatnot. So it's been a journey, and it will always be a journey. And eventually, I'll probably get into Super because I hear that Super is
Super.
no, look, I'll say this coming from somebody that has seen Super completely. Super is okay. It's not fantastic, but I like the characters and I like Dragon Ball Z and I want to see more of it. So
So you endure it.
I endure it. It gets better. It gets better with time, but Super never ever hits levels of Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball ever. But it's definitely a fun ride. I'll say that.
I think this was a fun ride.
Take it as a grain of salt. If you want to watch Super, watch the first two movies and then go in from there. But yeah, Dragon Ball, fantastic. Definitely, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's a fun-ass fucking ride. Thank you, Lewis.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, William.
Thank you very much.
That was so insightful at the end, my friend. That was so beautiful.
Yes.
I mean, that's why you had me on, right?
Yes. For
That
the
and
few
the
times
fun jokes.
for the few times you spoke, it was beautiful though. I was like, damn. Fucking insightful.
Telling you, bro, Silent Bob moments.
As always, I am Brandon, and
The side of the car said Hollywood. Sorry.
Keep those candles on. Keep them on.
Thank you, Brandon.
4?
He already
Oh,
said thank you to you.
I did? I said keep the candles on. I thought we ended the episode. Oh my god. No, I'm still recording. Did we end the episode though?
I don't know. Did we?
Now we did.
Okay. Dear God.